Good evening. As tensions continue to rise in the Middle East, diplomatic efforts are intensifying behind the scenes to prevent the outbreak of a wider war. Or military posturing and strong rhetoric dominate public headlines. Quiet negotiations and back-channel diplomacy are actively underway to pull the region back from the brink of conflict. Multiple sources indicate that regional and international powers are engaged in urgent talks aimed at reducing tensions, particularly between the United States and Iran. These diplomatic efforts involve both direct and indirect communication, often conducted through intermediaries to avoid further escalation. SIA officials familiar with the matter say that several countries are playing key roles as mediators. Nations with strong ties to both sides are attempting to keep communication lines open, emphasizing the high cost of war and the need for restraint. The goal, according to diplomats, is not only to prevent immediate conflict, but also to create space for longer-term dialogue. Despite the sharp language used publicly by leaders on all sides, diplomatic messaging remains cautious and calculated. Behind closed doors, the focus is on de-escalation, confidence-building measures, and avoiding miscalculations that could trigger military action. The United States has stated that while it remains prepared to defend its interests and allies, it prefers a diplomatic solution. American officials argue that dialogue, supported by international cooperation, offers the best chance to stabilize the situation and avoid a devastating conflict. Iran, for its part, has signaled that it is open to negotiations, but only under certain conditions. Iranian leaders insist that talks must take place without threats, sanctions pressure, or military intimidation. They maintain that diplomacy cannot succeed if one side feels coerced. This diplomatic push comes amid heightened military activity in the region. Analysts warn that when forces are on high alert, even minor incidents can escalate rapidly. That risk has made diplomacy not just an option, but a necessity. Regional countries are also deeply involved in these efforts. Many Middle Eastern nations fear that a war would spill across borders, destabilize economies, and endanger civilian populations. As a result, they are urging restraint and actively encouraging dialogue among rival powers. Global leaders and international organizations have echoed these concerns. Calls for calm have come from Europe, Asia, and beyond, with warnings that any conflict in the region would have global consequences. Energy markets, trade routes, and international security could all be affected. Experts say diplomacy in such a tense environment is slow and fragile. Progress often happens out of public view, and setbacks are common. Still, they stress that even limited communication can prevent misunderstandings and buy time for cooler heads to prevail. The coming days are seen as crucial. Diplomatic efforts must overcome deep mistrust, competing interests, and domestic pressures on all sides. Whether these talks succeed may determine if the region moves towards stability or slides closer to war. For now, diplomacy remains the strongest tool available. As military forces stand ready, negotiators work quietly to ensure that words, not weapons, shape the next chapter of this crisis.